Homestage, your stage, your sound, our expertise. Problems? The promoter needs a credible performer for their event. The performer wants performance opportunities to enhance their EPK and to perform in front of their fans and make new ones. Solution? Homestage, a platform for local and independent venues to book performers to perform based on data-driven matches and recommendations.
As the starting point for the data for our platform, we decided to focus on a single market, which was New Jersey. We selected 8 venues that fit our target market and found 8 to 12 artists per venue that have had performances there recently. For each artist venue pair, we assigned a recommendation score by using our domain knowledge to judge the compatibility of that artist and that venue. And then we also pulled in data from Spotify and Chartmetric. We used the Spotify and Chartmetric APIs to build out a profile for each artist. From Spotify, we pulled the artist's follower count and popularity score, and from Chartmetric, we pulled the artist's genre, engagement rank, career stage, and career trend. We chose these data points because we figured this is what venues care about when booking an artist to perform there, and this data is what helps to power the search engine and recommendation algorithm on our platform.
The web application was built using React and Flask. The application acts as a booking website where venues and artists can search each other on the platform and set the criteria they are looking for, which would then filter out the popular results. The platform would also integrate the recommendation tool mentioned earlier into the search and populate the most recommended artists/venues based on our model. From the populated results, each artist and venue has their own personal page with more information, such as previous events they've worked on or hosted, as well as upcoming events and other basic information about the artists and venues, such as availability and future integrated booking capabilities.
So we were able to build a preliminary working linear regression model using Python and stats model. We built a linear regression model for each venue in our market and trained the models using the seed data mentioned earlier. And then we pulled the same Spotify and Chartmetric data points for the new artist who's looking for a venue to perform at. We use our models to predict the recommendation score for that artist for each venue and then show the artist the venues with the top 2 highest scores for them. And then on the venues end, the recommendation tool follows a similar process to show them their top artist recommendations.
For feasibility and value, so for market demand, performers and venues have voiced their need and want for a platform like this. And with the widespread internet access and increasing digitalization in the music industry, this app would be technologically accessible. Now for value and efficiency, this app would save time and effort for both venues and artists looking to book shows. And for collaboration, it would increase the collaboration for both venues and performers together. And lastly, for career development, we would be able to help performers be able to enhance their EPKs and one sheets with our platform. Now, with the weaknesses and opportunities for Homestage, for weaknesses, convincing both local venues and performers to adopt this platform might be a little difficult at first, and the successes of the platform could vary based on local music scene sizes, diversity, and the receptiveness to venues using these digital solutions. But for the opportunities with data, we would be able to help venues and performers understand their audience and optimize their performance bookings, as well as with customization, flexibility for venues to specify their unique needs and performers to meet diverse requirements is something our app would allow.
Our business model is built on 3 key revenue streams. Firstly, we charge a service fee of 5% for every transaction for performance processed through our platform. Secondly, artists and venues have the option to pay for feature listings, which grants them higher visibility on our platform. Lastly, we enforce a penalty system for no-show artists, requiring them to pay 10% of the gig fee, which is split between our platform and the venue.
Jade, you're muted.
My apologies. So we have a lot of future plans, a lot of ways to scale, which would include improving the recommendation tools for venues and artists, implementing app integration, integrating sponsored in-person events, having sponsored partnerships, creating an API for venues, adding artist availabilities, an option for reviews for the venues and performers, adding an educational element, being able to expand our reach to include performers with smaller fan bases and other genres, and then finally the ability to collaborate with local municipalities and tourism groups to support their local music economies.
Ooh, a very satisfying and right at 5 minutes. Judges, do you have any questions? Oh, sorry, I'll call that up. Prashant?
Yeah, I think first of all, great presentation. I think clear introduction and a complete evaluation of everything, right, including the financial model, the mock-up demo, and talking about the regression algorithm. I think everything is great. I think what I loved is like your MVP started with like focusing on a specific market in New Jersey, and you talked about your future expansion in terms of feature set. But on like, how do you scale from like, okay, yeah, one market in MVP, considering the limitations that you emphasize that like, each market is unique? How do you like scale from there to like, additional markets?
So I would say that a lot of we chose New Jersey because some of us live in New Jersey, so we have some domain experience there. So I think it would involve kind of bringing in others with domain experience in other markets. I think just like Jersey, there's a lot of other markets that we can expand in that are kind of like smaller, not like big cities like New York or LA, but just like smaller artists, smaller venues that we could expand into first by bringing in people with that knowledge from those venues or those markets, like artists in those markets, venues in those markets, etc. And then we can focus on going into bigger and bigger markets by just bringing on more and more knowledge and more talent.
It would also be worth as well, just to add on as well, to look into cities that have these growing music economies, because those are really big for cities who are looking to build their music economies. A platform like this would be really beneficial, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I love your measured approach of scaling. So yeah, kudos. Thanks.
Great. Simon?
Yeah, interestingly, your very great presentation, and love the idea. And my question was very similar to Prashant's, which is your focus right now on this idea of local communities, local venues, local events. So you're matching people who are, all living and digging in the same space. What was the next step to get, a tour involved to connect up different cities? So what was the next step from that perspective?
I can jump in again. So I think there's a lot more that we can build in our current market first. We talked a lot about how there's not a lot of information like APIs that we can pull in for venue information. So I think next step, if we were to build this out even further, would be really acquiring a lot of venue information and going out and speaking to venue owners and booking agents and things like that to fill that out. And then from there, we can get that same information and same data points for other markets. But really, I think the focus next step would be venue information.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I should express an interest there. Obviously, Songkick as a live music platform has quite a lot of venue data in the platform, and in the past, it's not something we do at the moment, but we ran a process where people could vote for bands to come to their local venues. So similarly aligned with what you're trying to build.